Hey guys, this is George. You're watching Dee Runk Comics, and in today's episode, we're going over my top 10 books that I picked up in 2019. Intro, watch that, then we get to the list. Let's go. Alright guys, just a couple quick rules for my video to explain to you why things are in my list, why things might not be in my list. First things first, if a book came to me as an A-OK, it's not making my list. It may very well could have been one of the best books that I got this year, but I don't feel like ranking A-OKs. It's just not a fair thing to do. I appreciate all those A-OKs that I received this year. I got more than I should have. All right, now for the second rule. The second rule is, if I pick the book up before 2019, but it didn't get slabbed and graded until 2019, it's eligible to make my list. So without any further ado, let's get into the list. First book on the list is a grand prize that I won from that Spider-Man booth. We are talking about The Incredible Hulk. 181, baby. The first full appearance of Wolverine. 7.0 white pages. It's a hell of a grand prize, right? I know. It's in the list. Boom. All right, the second book on my list here today is Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider #1. This was signed by Mark Bagley and Peter David. Got that done in person. Really cool experience at GalaxyCon right here in Minneapolis. Had a really good time. It's one of my favorite books. One of my favorite runs that I ever got to read. Really cool book. Glad to have it in my collection. 2019, good year. All right, and the next book in this list is going to be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #0. This is the 1 in 50 Green Ranger helmet version. Or variant, or whatever. I don't know, man. It's a book. All right? And it was signed by Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger. He was a really cool dude. He was really fun to meet in person. And I had a good time getting this book signed. And it came back 9.8 white pages, baby. Moving right along, we've got X Factor #6, the first full appearance of Apocalypse, one of my favorite comic book villains. And getting his first full appearance, 9.8 white pages. Pretty exciting find. What's even more exciting is I actually wound up paying like close to half of what the fair market value is on Go Collect for this book. So I was pretty excited to get this one in my collection. Made a ridiculous offer that got accepted, and to my surprise, they actually shipped it to me. So boom, X Factor #6. And next we've got Batman #612, the second printing. It's a sketch variant of an amazing Jim Lee cover, just a classic image. You got Superman being fully dominant over Batman, just choking the shit out of him. Anyways, amazing book, and it actually happens to be the first and only Jim Lee signature in my collection. Now, if 2020 has anything to say about it, it won't be the last one in my collection, but for now, this one, amazing book. Glad to have it in the PC. I've got it in the PC. All right, now this one was kind of like a unicorn for me, man. I kept trying to find this book. I bought a couple raw copies. Wasn't working out. Everything kept coming back at 9.6. Finally, I did get X-Men Alpha, the Prism Gold Edition. Got it in a 9.8. Had to buy it slabbed because I was tired of fucking around and getting disappointed by the grades. But just look at that thing shimmer, man. This is beautiful, man. One of my favorite books. It's got the wraparound cover. And it is in my 2019 top 10 list. Oh, I'm not even going to go back and edit this, man. I'm just going to tell you now, these books are actually in no particular order. And with that being said, the next book on my 2019 top 10 list is Superman #50, the Henry Cavill photo edition. It's a photo poster from Batman v Superman. Not the best movie in my opinion, but Henry Cavill still makes a fantastic Superman. If you ask me, I'm going to assume that you are asking me since you're watching this. If you're not asking me, well, you still got my opinion. Anyways, I absolutely love this book, and it was signed by Henry Cavill, which is such a cool thing. Yeah, found it on eBay, got it at a really good price, and this one is in the list. Speaking of being in the list, this next book is also in the list. We've got Amazing Spider-Man number 361. This is the first appearance of Carnage. Just an amazing book, a classic cover. Now, speaking of classic covers, I did show this to people on my Instagram, but this is roughly what this book would have looked like if they had actually gone with Mark Bagley's first attempt at this cover. You tell me which one you think was cooler. I personally kind of like the one over here a little bit more, but that being said, Comic Cat 84, this is still just an amazing book. Really excited. I did get the Spider-Man custom label up here. Thought it looked really cool with this book. And yeah, guys, another book in the top 10 2019 list. All right, now this is actually the only book that was part of that rule of 2018, bought the book, got it graded in 2019, and it is the Uncanny X-Men number 266, first full appearance of Remy LeBeau. Anyways, guys, this is truly one of my favorite comic books in my collection. I absolutely love Gambit, and I bought this book raw, and I was just super excited when this thing came back at a 9.8. Just a gem in my collection. I absolutely love this book. All right, now I did say that this list was in no particular order, and for the most part, that's true. But this last book is my favorite book that I picked up this year, and it's my favorite for a lot of reasons. I love the image, I love the character, I love the art. I had this done at GalaxyCon. It was my custom blank cover of Secret Wars #1. This was sketched by Randy Emberlin, who was the inker for the very first ever Scarlet Spider-Man comic book, that Web of Spider-Man 118 that you can see behind me here. And it was actually colored by a professional comic book colorist, Steve Leidick. It was signed by Mike Zeck and John Beatty. It's just an amazing book in my collection. It's probably it's like my Mount Rushmore of comic books at this moment in time. This book is just one of my favorites. So 2019, baby, this was the last book in the list. All right, guys, that's the list. You got the definitive Dee Runk list of my favorite comic books that I picked up this year. I can only imagine that 2020 will probably have less books, but they will be some better books. I don't know what to even say about that, but it's going to be a fire year. I can absolutely guarantee you that. Now, I do want to say one quick thing. I just showed you some books that I absolutely love, amazing books in my collection. I do have to tell everyone here that the favorite thing that I collected this year, though, and I'm getting a little emotional, but I'm telling you guys, I collected a lot of really, really good friends. I'm not going to name any of them because I will instinctively forget one, and I'll feel like shit. I'll have to re-edit or I'll have to re-upload. I'm not doing any of that. But if you think I'm talking about you, then damn it, I'm talking about you, man. You're my friend, you're my boy, you're my girl, whatever, man. I appreciate the support for watching my channel. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. Please do me a huge favor. Like the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you don't mind, maybe give me your top 10 or top 5 books that you collected this year yourself. Do that in the comments below. A few of you don't really need to do it because you've already made the video yourself and I've seen it. And, so that, you know who you are. If you made the video, you ain't got to comment, but you can still comment. But like, hey, George, I like your shit. All right, guys, end of 2019. One last time, I need you all to remember that I am unable to quit, as I am currently too legit.